Welcome back to Red Business in Focus, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices, where we're bringing you all of the business news, inspiring entrepreneurs and sharing business success stories. This week we've got Pat Drynan in the spotlight. After a 25-year career in financial services, Pat pivoted his career to launch a new business that's focused on taking the stress out of renting a home. In 2020, Pat graduated with a master's in digital marketing and in parallel set up an online platform called homehack.com. Homehack makes the renting process about people rather than about property. You're very welcome, Pat. How are you?
Good, thank you, Jonathan.
I'm looking forward to diving into this, but beginning first of all, in 30 seconds or less, tell us what Homehack does.
So Homehack is a people platform that simplifies the home renting process. We help organised tenants prepare a tenant CV, and then they display their tenant CV on Homehack Tenant Selector, which is a platform where landlords and agents go to select trustworthy tenants. Imagine LinkedIn, but for home renting. So we bring homes to tenants, whereas property websites do it the other way around.
And there's a big difference, because if you're trying to rent a property right now, you are one of thousands looking at the same property, and it's a little bit like the centre of an hourglass. Everything is being funneled into the centre. You're kind of flipping that around, aren't you?
Yes, indeed. We're helping to take the focus from property solely and bring it on to the people who, not just the people who need the homes, but actually the people who are looking to rent out the homes as well, and the letting agents, and make the entire process an awful lot more simpler.
You talked about organised tenants. What is an organised tenant?
Well, much in the same way as when a job seeker decides they want to go for a job. The organised job seeker prepares a good job CV, and they get it checked over with somebody, and it works well to promote their skills and their attributes. So we help organised tenants to get their best attributes onto a tenant CV. And the organised tenant has their rental history prepared in advance, their employment details, they have ID verified, and they bring their references and bring lots of them to their job tenant CV, and they get all of that done in advance, and then they go looking for a home.
It's a very stressful process in general, isn't it? Because you've got people who are trying to rent a property and they have to filter through the thousands of applications. Then you've got someone who's got a really good track record as being a renter, and they're trying to get into a system whereby they're surrounded by other people who might have a really bad track record, and it's very hard to make your voice heard. Yes. How important is it to give that bit of extra power to both sides, that they can find the person that they really want to move into a property and to be their landlord?
Well, it's very true. There's an awful lot of noise in the entire process, an awful lot of friction and an awful lot of, I suppose, wasted effort. And so what we're trying to do is to save those people that are prepared, that are ready, that know what they want and that can present themselves. We try to give them a platform to empower their message and to bring them and help them to stand out from the crowd. And this is exactly what the landlord and agent is looking for in any case. But rather than have to filter through hundreds and hundreds of applications, and lots of them maybe just not suitable for that property, we help them to come to Homehack, input exactly who they're looking for or what is the property about, and then filter very quickly down to just the right people for the right property.
Now, I've found a flaw. I mean, I've been trying for ages to find a flaw. Estate agents will hate you, because estate agents make their money off being the people who facilitate this. So you're coming in with Homehack. Are you not stealing the lunch of the estate agent?
Not at all. In fact, we're helping to fund a lot more lunches for the estate agent, because the estate agent, their goal is to obviously help the landlords. The work is outsourced to them by the landlord a lot of times. But rather than have to filter through lots and lots and lots of surplus applications, sometimes up to 300 and 400 applications for a single property in Cork alone, it's a pointless exercise. It's almost impossible to get back to everybody and do a quality job on that. And professional estate agents value the fact that we have a people-based approach, and they value the fact that if they can get really down to the 10, 15, 20 ideal applicants for that particular property, then that they can do an excellent job engaging with those specific tenants and bring just the right people to the landlord to rent that property.
Now, you had a really successful career in financial services, yes, and then you did your digital master's course. You know, there's lots of different directions your career could have taken. How did you end up in property, which, let's face it, normally has people running in the opposite direction screaming?
Yes, although I don't feel that I'm in property, because we're focusing on the people side of it, and the property is almost secondary to that. And so I feel that we're very much about helping empower individuals to bring forward their story and what it is they're looking for. And that's in the way marketing has gone in these last number of years. And I see this as a marketing role to help individuals market themselves, and also to help the letting agent and the landlord to market their property, yes, but to get the best result for that.
You're clearly very passionate about this product, and you've put a lot of investment into this. But one of the things that people have, everybody has a book in them. Thankfully, they don't mostly write it, but everybody has a good business in it as well. And when they do start, they have to talk to somebody. So, what kind of support did you have, Pat, when you were coming up with the idea of Home Hack and bringing it to reality?
Well, we had excellent support locally with our local enterprise. I went to Mallow, I met with Kevin Curran, who heads up the local enterprise for Cork North and West. And in the very early days, it was a good exercise to just, put the idea out there and test the concept, if you like. I came back later then and I got tremendous support for a priming grant, business priming grant, which we were successful with. And then we used that to get our minimum viable product out in the market. And then we came back recently with a more developed product and with customers and with traction. And we were very happy to receive a business expansion grant from local enterprise. So there's a nice steady traction, nice steady journey along there with them as partners.
Now, the website is live right now, homehack.com. That's hack, H-A-K, homehak.com. So people can have a look at that. I'm presuming that you have ambition to bring this not just out of Cork, but out of Ireland.
Absolutely. The home renting process is almost identical all over the world. Essentially, an individual needs a home and they know what they need for their particular circumstance, and that is consistent everywhere. And the need to form a trustworthy relationship with a landlord/letting agent is also consistent across the world. And so in Ireland, indeed, 60 to 70% of our members they come from overseas. And so when they go back home overseas, they take with them a good tenant CV from homehack.com. They apply for properties over there, and hopefully they will be advocates for a people approach to finding a property. And therefore, yes, you're absolutely right. We hope to expand this across Europe first and then further afield.
Well, we look forward to following this story as it plays out. Pat Drynan of homehack.com. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
And that's it for this week's episode. Join us next week where we'll be meeting another successful entrepreneur and hearing their successful journey to date. That's next time on Red Business in Focus, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices.